Let's create one more tutorial in FreeCAD. In this tutorial, you'll learn to use pad, mirror, and Bolean Operation. So open the FreeCAD and let's go. The first step to create this part, we will select the front plane and make this sketch. And here will be the midpoint. And the first thing that we'll make, we will create this circle with 36 millimeters of diameter and this circle here with 12 millimeters of diameter. And the distance between the centers of the circles is 100 millimeters. Open the FreeCAD, go to create a sketch, select the front plane, select the circle, click here in the midpoint, make a circle here with 36 millimeters, and create another circle here with 12 millimeters of diameter. And go to dimension. The distance between the center of the circle and the midpoint is 100 millimeters. And now we will create this construction line. The angle between this construction line and this axis here is 45 degrees, and the length of this line will be 40 millimeters minus 18 millimeters, the radius here. So the distance will be from this point to this point here. So it is 40 minus 18 millimeters. So select line, active construction geometry, click here in the midpoint. The distance here will be 22 millimeters and the angle 45 degrees, and press OK. And now we will create these three lines here. This line here has 10 millimeters of length, so let's create this. Remove the construction geometry here and select a line. We will make three lines here. We will put the constraints later, okay? And here go to constraints and select a perpendicular. Select this line and this one. This line and this one. This line here and this one. And now go to dimension. This line here has 10 millimeters of length, and the distance between this line here and this one is 5 millimeters. And go to constraint, select coincident, select this line and this point here. And now go to trim edge, cut the circle here and here. We made this profile. And now let me remove the red lines here. We will create this arc with 25 millimeters of radius and create this arc here with 12 millimeters of radius. This arc is concentric with this circle, and this arc here is concentric with this circle. And here we have two lines between the arcs, and the lines is tangent in the both sides. So go to arc from center, click here in the midpoint, make an arc here with 25 millimeters of a radius, and we will create another arc here with 12 millimeters of radius. Let me move the dimension here a little bit. And now select a line, make a line between these two arcs. And go to constraint, select tangent, select this line here and this arc, this line and this arc. Make the same here for this line. We made this profile. Let me hide some constraints here. Okay. And now we will create this sketch here. So the first thing that we make here, we will create this arc. The distance between this arc here and this one is 8 millimeters. And we will create these two lines. And the distance between this line here and this one is 8 millimeters for the both. So select the arc, click here, make an arc here, and select a line, make 2 lines here, and go to constraints, select the parallel, select this line and this line here and this one, and go to sketch dimension, the distance here 8 millimeters, the distance here 8 millimeters. And now let's create this arc here. We have a fillet here with 5 millimeters of radius in this edge and in this edge. So go to fillet, select this line and this arc here, this line and this arc. Go to constraint, select the equal, select this arc here and this one. And go to dimension, the radius here is 5 millimeters. And the distance between this arc and this one is 8 millimeters. And now in this side we have an arc, tangent in the both sides. So go to arc from 3 points, click here in this point here, make an arc here. And go to constraint, select the tangent, select this arc and this one, this arc and this one. And here go to constraints, horizontal, vertical, select this point here and this point here. And now we need to put the distance between this arc and this one. The distance is 8 millimeters, but we will create a point here and a point here for reference. So select a point, make a point here in this arc and make a point here in this arc. Try to move this, and here go to constraint, select it coincident, select this point here and this line. And make the same for this point. This point must be coincident with the arc and with this line here. And go to dimension. The distance between these 2 points is 8 millimeters. We made this one. And now leave the sketch and go to pad. We needed to extrude this 60 millimeters. So the mode, select symmetric and the length 60 millimeters. And press OK. We made this one. And now create a new body here. And in this new body, we will select the top plane and we'll make this sketch. And here is the midpoint. And the first thing that we'll make, we'll create a center line here. And this center line has 100 millimeters plus 12 millimeters plus 25 millimeters, the distance between this point here, this edge and this edge here. And the distance between this point and the midpoint is 25 millimeters. So let's create this. Go hide this body here and go to create a sketch, select the top plane, activate the construction geometry, select a line, make a line here. This line has 100 millimeters plus 25 millimeters of radius plus 12 millimeters of radius. And go to dimension, select this point here. The distance here is 25 millimeters. And now we will create this sketch. We will put the fillets later. Okay. So remove the construction geometry and select the polyline. Click here in the midpoint, and this point, sorry. Let's create this sketch here. Make sure that it is a vertical line. And let's go to dimension. So the half here is 7 millimeters, and the distance between this point here and the midpoint 35 millimeters, and the distance between this point here and the midpoint 75 millimeters. So we have 7 millimeters here, and the distance here is 35 millimeters, and the distance here is 75 millimeters. Let me move the others line here a little bit. And here go to constraints and select the parallel. Select this line here and this one. And the distance between this line here and the midpoint will be 30 millimeters. And this line here has 80 millimeters. And the distance between these two lines, 80 millimeters. I'll go to dimension again. We have 80 millimeters here. The distance between these two lines, 80 millimeters. And the distance between this line and the midpoint, 30 millimeters. Let me move this line here a little bit. And to this point here, we'll go to constraints, horizontal, vertical, select this point and this point here. Okay. And now we needed to create an arc at this point here. So this arc has 10 millimeters of radius. So here go to arc from 3 points. Click here in this point. Click here in this line here. Make an arc here. Sorry, remove this arc here. Go to arc from center and click here in this point and make an arc here. Go to constraint, select tangent, select this line and this arc here, and go to dimension. Let me see what is happening here. Let me remove the arc and go to center arc again. Make an arc here with 10 millimeters of radius. Let me move the dimension here a little bit. And here go to constraint, select the tangent, select this line and this arc. It is this reference here that is broken. Delete this constraint here. And here go to constraint again, select the coincident, select this point and this point here. And make this line tangent with the arc. And then I'll go to coincident, select this point here and select this line. Sometimes we get some errors here in FreeCAD, no problem. We needed to try to solve. And now we will create the fillets here. Let me remove the red lines. We have a fillet here with 20 millimeters here and here. The 3 fillets with 20 millimeters of radius. So go to fillet, select these 2 lines here, this 2 line here, and this 2 line here. And go to equal constraints, select this arc and this arc and this one. And then I'll go to dimension. The radius here is 20 millimeters. We made this one. And you can use a mirror here, but I prefer to mirror the body. So I will create a line here in the center between this point and this point here. We made this profile. Let me move the dimensions here a little bit. And now we will extrude this. So leave the sketch, go to pad. The extrusion here will be 60 millimeters, because the maximum here is 25, so 60 millimeter is enough. So the mode, select symmetric, the length here 60 millimeters, and press OK. And now we will mirror this body. So go to mirror and change the plane here to XZ plane and press OK. We made this body here and we have this body. And now we will go to Bolean Operation and click here in Add Body. Select this body here. And the operation here, select Common. And press OK. We made this one. And now to finish this exercise, we needed to create the fillets here. And all the fillets here will be 2 millimeters of radius. So we have a fillet in this edge here, in the both edge, and in this edge here. And inside here, we have a fillet with 2 millimeters of radius. So go to fillet, the radius 2 millimeters, and here select this, go to select this edge here, this edge here, this one, and this one, and here, and press OK. We made this one. So here we finish your exercise. Thanks for watching, subscribe my channel for more, and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.